I'm Clay Daniel, Director of LSAT Prep at Claiborne Education. I want to just take a minute to tell you why I tutor the LSAT, why I love the LSAT, why I've been doing this for over 15 years, and why I continue to do it. There's three main reasons. The first is the puzzle of the LSAT itself. Standardized tests, although they might just feel like burdens to you or kind of black boxes, like I'm not sure how to crack this thing, they can also be seen as puzzles. And the LSAT is one of the most interesting and complicated. Every section provides you with unique challenges. If you've ever seen the difference between analytical reasoning, commonly called logic games, on the one extreme and reading on the other, you've seen that the LSAT has a sometimes bewildering diversity of content. But the logic games represent their own kind of puzzle. Maybe that's the most obvious connection to the idea of puzzle there. The logic puzzles are fun. I'm excited when a new one comes out so I can dig into it and try to unpack it and see what the skills I've learned from doing other logic games, see how they apply on this particular one. But the logical reasoning is also a puzzle of sorts. And you can even think of each of the individual question types as related but distinct puzzles. And they really challenge you to think in a number of different ways, whether it's even just a difference between like a necessary and a sufficient assumption, or what you need to understand for an inference question, or the oddness of the match the reasoning or parallel reasoning questions. I like how they're kind of self-contained puzzles, 25 or 26 of them on the logical reasoning section. And the reading, sure, maybe it's least like a puzzle, but you always learn something new with the reading. There's a number of things I've learned from the reading section, and still the individual question types provide different kinds of challenges because they're not all just asking about details. They're making you come at it from a number of different ways. It's a really interesting mental challenge. Although it might just feel like an obstacle to you, the more that you can even appreciate the aspects of its design, the more you might be able to kind of domesticate it and make it less of a scary monster or a black box before you. Secondly, in addition to the puzzle, I like how the LSAT keeps me sharp. I've gotten a lot better at identifying fallacies when I hear them in, say, public discourse or advertising or whatever it might be. The number of different ways that the LSAT challenges you, even though I've seen many of these questions tens and even hundreds of times, when I get to interact with a student over the challenge of the individual question, I feel like that mental activity is very much worthwhile. But I want you to know, this is true of me, and I know this is true of our other LSAT tutors, that the third reason is the most important. And that's the relationships with the students. I talk to students all the time who are excited about what a law degree might enable them to do in the future. They are world changers. They are ready to apply their passions to what law school might enable them to go out and do, to change the world, to help people. And this test serves as what sometimes feels like an insurmountable hurdle to those dreams. It is a joy to cut that hurdle down at the knees, to shrink it down to size, to make it manageable, to take it apart, dissect it, sit with a student until that student begins to feel like I feel, that this is manageable. Each individual part can be handled, and this test can be tamed. Ultimately, we do it for the people. It's why we do LSAT Prep 1-to-1. It's why we think of ourselves as coaches and trainers out of a relationship in which we begin to understand how the student thinks. It is a joy to unlock, in a sense, the puzzle of that student's mind as well as the puzzle of the test. Those are the reasons why I love helping students with the LSAT. I'd love to talk to you more about it.